A very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Legends Rugby Grounds for the penultimate round of the Nile Special Rugby Premier League 2023 season. It is the leaders, Cobs Rugby Club, hosting the boys from Akere Impis Rugby Club. In this 4 p.m. kickoff, we've had 2 games already kicking off in the day. Buffaloes punching Rams' ticket out of the Premiership in that 16-8 match at Chadondo, and then Heathens kicking off about an hour ago. They now lead by 27 points to 11 against the Mongers. 3 games going on right now. It is Cobs taking on Impis, Paris taking on Walukuba, and Ginger Hippos taking on the Rhinos. But our focus will be here today with the leaders, Cobs, against the boys from Akere. In attack already from the start, Cobs at about halfway with the ball in hand with Collins Chimbowa, and then now his front row partner Jude Juko looking for that offload but loses the ball in contact. Early days, barely 2 minutes played, and we've had our first line out. Now we're going to be having our first scrimmage. The big boys getting to feel a bit of the action early on. Skies are clear, but the pitch is a bit muddy owing to the rain that has plagued these past weeks in this tropical region, both conventional rather, due to the proximity of Kampala City to the Lake Victoria. First scrum feed for Impis. And there's pressure coming in from the leaders, Cobs. It's at the feet of Jude Joko, of Pius Ogena rather. Cobs have the advantage, a free play from this set piece. Switch play to club captain Justin Kimono. And then now Derek Tukwasibwe. Collins Chimbowa with a carry just a meter short of the upright. And Umar Balikanda has indicated on the floor that Collins Chimbowa has done, Michael Toro rather, has done enough to score the first points of the game. Just 2 minutes, 50 seconds played. And Cobs are off to a flying start with the first try of the game.
Yeah, interesting to see early hit there by the Cobs. Got the fans a little bit by surprise. They did not expect from the angle where many of them were watching. They did expect the try to go in, but there we have it. The Cobs already in the lead. Their intent clear. I'm sure part of their attention is towards next weekend, but they know that the job has to first be done here so that they stay at the top of the table, building up to the final round that will be against rivals Pirates. Joseph Aredo there with the extras to put the Cobs 7-0 up.
Jonathan Magezi on the restart. Puts a trade to Justin Kimono. Carrying hard and strong forward. And then now Juko. Juko played for East Africa RFC in the Hong Kong Tens. That spring in the step. Has an international ring to it. But we shall have the man now who has inspired Impis to 7.7 wins this season. Henry Sekuye played out of position today in fullback. His return last weekend, Ruben, inspired Impis to their first win in 3 games. And now he's been put in number 15 as Justin Kimono, running strong again, breaking lines. The space on the outside, Aredo for Derek Tukwasibwe. He has a man on the outside looking for that chicken wing offload. Doesn't find Odugo. Quick ball by Masendi to Juko. A bit too wide. The pass and it's lost forward, but the Impis have been caught offside.
Yeah, definitely. Suspect defending there, trying to cover their spaces. Impis are not doing it really, really well. But credit to Cobs turning defense into attack, and you can see their intent there. Josiah Sempeke going for the line out. They want to score, and they want to score early, put as many points as possible on the board. Last week, they dropped points against Buffaloes. They did not get the extra bonus point that they would have wanted, so they want to make sure that there is no such error this particular week.
They're now tied with the Pirates at 70 points in the standings with 1 game to go. They will face each other in the season finale here. Every point, especially today, matters. Juko to throw. Tukwasiwe up in the air, but it is stolen by Shafiq Wampande, and Nkuruma will secure that possession. Jonathan Magezi looking for touch. It's kept in play just marginally by Odugo. But that was just enough to bounce into touch. Assistant referee Bashir Bakel indicating that Odugo carried it into touch, so it's going to be an Impis line out just past halfway. What a beautiful kick from Magezi, the youngster, having thrown in the deep end after Henry Sekuye's injury, and he swam very well, I should say. And today the two of them are on the pitch. Kuruma to Wampande, does not find him. Paul Wabwire loses that ball forward. And it's going to be a scrum feed for the Cobs. Second set piece of the game. The first was an Impis feed, went the way of Pius Ogena. This time it's a Cobs feed. How strong is that scrummage that the team in blue have against the team in pink?
Yeah, big test for the youngsters from Impis against one of the team's more formidable scrummagers, the Cobs. And this is going to be yet another test on a day when the ground is a bit muddy, meaning the ball might not be the best to pass. We might see a lot of handling errors. The test is going to be there at scrum time. And how the scrum halves can marshal their forwards as well is going to be very important as Robert Masendi prepares to feed the ball.
So the back on the feet of Pius Ogena. His opposite number, Pius Mpoza, has already broken off. And Ogena, brought down by Wabwire. Mpoza with that attempted turnover. He's in pain. Appears he was hit late. That's a head injury. The protocols are very clear. Recognize and remove. If Pius Mpoza has been recognized to have got contact on his head, it could spell problems for the Impis here. A late hit. At that breakdown, but the penalty, the advantage had already been earned by the Cobs in that phase of play. Mpoza is okay. He walks off. And there's some consultation with the referees, Bakir and Umar. And it's a penalty for illegal scrummaging against the Impis. Decision has been made. Josiah Sempeke to find touch and return Impis where they started from, is not able to. David Dichiri keeps it in play, finds Henry Sekuye, and we're back where we had started from. Bounces on the line, beautiful kick from Henry Sekuye to bring us where we started from, Ruben, about 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, a brilliant kick there by Henry Sekuye, just finding very, very good touch, and now we're back. Pressure in the Cobs half as they try to exit their own half.
That was a very quick restart from Impis and from Cobs, and a very good chase from Dichiri, catching Josiah Sempeke deep inside his territory. And there's the 150-man Amos Asimire making a mess of himself at the breakdown. And that hard work has earned a turnover play for Impis. Beautiful play from Impis. And there's that man, Amos Asimire, in the #1 jersey, well deserved, I should say. Started his career at Intare School, goes on to Namilyango College, played for Makerere University. The veteran has put 150 games on his belt for this team, Impis. And that is one of the reasons that play making Cobs secure possession of play at that point, making it hard for them, has earned Impis a penalty. What a man, Ruben. Any words you'd love to say about Amos Asimire, I'm sure, would come with very many superlatives, wouldn't they?
Yeah, definitely very, very instrumental for the Makerere best side. But another man that is instrumental is just the man ahead of the ball. He came back, and interestingly, he came back with the wins. He had gone off, Henry Nsekui had gone off with a bit of an injury, and with that time, the Impis found themselves in a losing spell. But last week, they were able to find their winning ways yet again. With his return, can he usher them to yet another win, perhaps an upset and maybe a good tribute to Amos Asimire if they could get the win here? But it all starts with this kick. Can he find his bearings with his first attempt of the game? Slicing the posts, and that is very, very good, putting some points on board for Impis.
Henry Nsekui, one of the league's best kickers at the moment, 95 points to his name, having not played 8 games. And it's like he never left. The man now wearing number 15, typical number 10, I should say, cuts Cobs' lead from 7 points to just 4 with a quarter of an hour played here at Legends Rugby Club. Back underway, gathered by Paul Wabwire. Looked like he was tagged a bit above the shoulder. Jonathan Magezi, ball has been taken back in the 22, so he'll need to keep it in play. Joseph Aredo fielding well, and it's a penalty for offside against the Cobs. It's a good exchange between the two teams, especially those men on the boat, Magezi and Nsekui. Mageze's kick for touch doesn't find a lot of ground. Today, little bit of a hilarious moment here in the commentary booth. Ruben noting that Faraji Odugo, typical hooker number 2, has been listed as number 11, but I should say that man has wheels for days. And there's a number of players also on the other side that are in unfamiliar positions. It's not just Faraji Odugo that is playing out of position today, I should say. Clive Lomo misses that ball in the air. It bounces into Byron Oketayot's path. Now Kimono, long ball out to Sempeke. There's no one on his outside, so he takes into contact. Cobs on a stolen line out. Blair Yebazibwe. And he has lost that ball on the floor. Gets up in bewilderment, but Impis have earned the second turnover of the game. Pass and Posa on the boat. And now Karima Rinaitwe to Sempeke. Cobs on the counter-attack. Faraji Odugo, the hooker at the wing, beats his opposite man for pace, but is met in a head-on collision by Amos Asimire. Now Pius Ogena recycling it quickly is Cobs. The current league's top try scorer with 19 tries to his name, bumping men off for fun. Cobs are back at the Impis 22. What a carry from Ogena. Serious contender for season MVP today, I should say. Collins Chimbo are in the gap. Now the try scorer, Michael Otto. Jujuko, there's acres of space in front of him. Offloads in contact to Derek Tukwasibwe. Cobs are back in an area where they know they need to strike some points. But Derek Tukwasibwe has lost that ball in contact, and it's going to be a scrum feed for the Impis, about 5 meters away from their try line.
Yeah, Derek Tukwasibwe just being a little over eager to score the try, the white line fever, and just losing the ball. But there you can see deliberation between the captain, Kennedy Muhumuza for Impis, talking to the referee, getting clarity on something in particular. And it's always good to see when the referee or the officials are vividly communicating with the team so that every call is understood. But what a display that was from Pius Ogena. That is why he's called the German machine. Ideally one, if not the best player this season, he's one of them. But luckily enough in this instance, Impis get a get out of jail card and are able to have an opportunity to clear their lines.
Yeah, ball lost forward in the in goal, so it's going to be a goal line dropout for the Impis. Jonathan Magezi sends it to halfway. His opposite number, Josiah Sempeke, carries it straight into him. Magezi has done so well to hold up Sempeke. About 5 years his senior. It's going to be a turnover for Impis. If Cobs are unable to get this ball back to play, Emmanuel Ochodo, the captain's attempts are futile. And Impis, led by Jonathan Magezi, have earned a big turnover, I should say, at this point in the game.
Yeah, good strategy there. Not allowing themselves to be in a mall contest with heavier Cobs players, and really just holding the man up and making the ball unplayable. Really, really smart defense there by the Impis. Now they get the opportunity. They were really outmatched in the first scrum contest. It is interesting to see how they are going to be able to adjust. We already talked about the size disadvantage, having Cobs being visibly heavier and also more experienced at the scrum. Can they be able to have that ball get out of the scrum as quickly as possible to allow their backs to play? We're saying Kennedy Muhumuza and Jonathan Magezi standing on either side of the scrum.
Cobs applying the pressure, but the ball has been retrieved by the Impis. And they earn the penalty for Cobs having scrummaged upwards. Passing pause on the quick wrist that ball has been knocked forward in contact by Sempeke. Referee says play on. I thought there was a knock on the floor there from Joshua Nkuruma. But we're still going on. That's a high hit from Collins Shimbo. I'll be very lucky to get away without a yellow card from that sequence. Play is getting messy. Impis have the advantage against Cobs. Mpoza, knowing he has that free play, and he gets the full blow of the whistle. A lot has gone on. Not sure if Umar Barikanda has noted everything. He says advantage for the penalty. Impis will be going for points. If Henry Sekwe is well aware of what the regulations allow him to do, he can take that penalty from a mark that is clean enough. Referee says it's around the 22. Henry Sekwe should be able to lobby to get that penalty taken in a space that is, I should say, more comfortable for him.
Yeah, definitely. Let's hope that he is aware of that, or at least I can have one of the people from the bench tell him what his rights are in that particular instance. But seeing a couple of things, there have been a number of high tackles in the game. Interesting that the officials have, for a certain part of the game, let it go. But great to see that there was awareness there. Player safety, player welfare is always very, very important. And this is a perfect opportunity now for Impis to see if they can further close the gap and put more pressure on the home side.
Henry Sekwe to bring Impis to within a point of the Cobs. This penalty is in a farmland, I should say, section of this playing field. But Henry Sekwe is not able to navigate that region as comfortably as he would have loved. And the score will stay as is. I thought he should have asked to take that penalty like they do in the scrums. If the surface is not good enough to take the scrum, you go to an area that is close along that perpendicular to the touchline. You can have that scrum feed there. It should be the same case for the penalty. But we are back underway, and Emmanuel Ochodo maintains possession for Cobs after Pius Mpoza played some football and didn't do well at that. They have the advantage as well. Now Jude Juko fends off Amos Asimire. To the blind side, Mike Oto. That's a good bootless tackle by Paul Wabwire. Juko again. Brought down by Newton Mwebaze. Slow ball this time. But it's a long pass out wide. Pius Ogena to Karim Arinaito, one of the most lethal finishers in the league. Caught inside the 22. Sempeke playing halfback duties, and now Aredo to Chimono. Collins Chimboa. Cobs have the advantage. Derek Kwasibwe loses that ball backwards, says the referee. Jonathan Magezi ankle taps his opposite man, and it's going to be a penalty for the Cobs for offside. Magezi appears to have hurt himself there at the corner of the screen, bottom corner. What option does Aredo go for? As the doctor as well, Jane Mugisha running to the rescue of Jonathan Magezi, and she slides in the mud here at Legends. The surface is not forgiving any of the people that are within these 4 white lines.
Yeah, we hope the youngster Magezi is able to get off there, and it's not really that serious because he has had actually a very good start to this game. His combination being at 10 and having Henry Sekui at 15 allows Impis to have 2 playmakers on the pitch. We wouldn't want to see him really get off the game at this time, very, very early in the game, especially when Impis has been putting up quite a valiant performance. But we have a medical break right now as Noah Kayongo and the Impis doctor signaling that actually I think his day is done. Interesting. How does this impact Impis and how they chose to approach this game?
Very unfortunate there for Jonathan Magezi to get a foot to the head that rules him out with just 17 minutes played. The decision has been made to make a replacement. Impis had 2 playmakers, 2 very good kickers on the pitch in Henry Sekui and Magezi, and now it might force a change. Could be Keith Weraga coming on. He was listed as number 9, but he's a typical 15, came late. And that meant Prince Marvin Bwire was starting at number 9. Henry Sekui could slot to number 10, Keith Weraga to number 15, or Keith Weraga to number 9. And then Marvin Bwire to number 10, if he can play there. But I think the most logical decision for Sebuliba at this point would be to bring on the other man on the bench. He has played in the midfield most of this season. There on your screen, Spencer Muhire to number 10, and then keeping Henry Sekui at number 15. You have 2 playmakers on the pitch that you stand better chance with them than without, especially in such a situation against Cobs.
Yeah, very unfortunate for them to be losing Jonathan Magezi, the youngster. They really had 2 boots, keeping in mind that Jonathan Magezi is a left-footed kicker, so they could have 2 vantage points from which they approach their fielding, and that had caused Cobs some issues, but let's see how the adjustments are made.
That will most likely mean that Jonathan Magezi's season has ended, as the next game is 7 days away from the last one. Cobs pushing on that subsequent scrum, and the ball has been grounded. Should be Robert Masendi. I didn't get that one. Robert Masendi or Pius Ogena? Can see the frustration from the Impis back row, especially Pius Mpoza there. They failed to defend their area. The player who messes with that ball at the back of the scrum would have risked a yellow card, so there's nothing much they could have done. The Cobs front row had put it on the platter for Pius Ogena to ground his 20th try of the season, recalling a very, very prestigious record that was set by Alan Musoke way back in the day. And if he's able to score more points today or next weekend, he'll have set a new premiership record that will take another set of years to be broken. Joseph Aredo with the extras to make it 14 points to 3 against the Impis. But talk about Pius Ogena, what a season he's having.
Definitely very, very stellar player. One that has been a dependable customer for the Cobs. showing up. The fact that he is both in the top scorers and top point scorers table contestants for this season really speaks testament to what he can do, competing with the likes of Ivan Magomo and Joseph Aredo. But he does not kick, he only scores tries. And just as Ernest has said, 20 tries this season, a record equaling Alan Musoke. And let's see if he can break it, maybe even in this game, who knows.
Back underway, Impis are able to regather that possession, but it's stolen back by Byron Oketayot. Jude Juko tipping it on to the captain, Emmanuel Ochodo. He slips just before contact. Ogena now, the man on fire this season. Joseph Aredo from Sempeke. Switch play to, oh, it's a dummy switch. Thought he would give it to Odugo, and he's been caught in no man's land. Aredo holding on is the call. Quick restart by Pius Mpoza. Brought down by Derek Tukwasibwe. Good defense. And now counter-attack from Impis, but Henry Sequoia has fumbled that one. It is going to be a scrum feed for the Cobs. Henry Sequoia took his eyes off the ball for just a moment. And he has granted possession back to the Cobs.
Yeah, it's just those small moments, just a second, taking your eyes off the ball, and possession yet again switches and goes back to the home team, the Blue Army, the Cobs. The scrum has not been a contest as of yet, as we await to see how this particular engagement will be.
Ogena has the ball at his feet, opts for the blind side. Wawire cannot stop him. But maybe Spencer Muhire will. Now Juko into Newton Mweba's a beautiful tackle and carry from the two. It's another turnover for the Impis. Amos Asimire, and that's an attempted quick restart is halted by his teammates. The exit is the priority to save energy early on in this game. Is a better way to last against Cobs, who know how to play the 80 minutes of rugby. And Henry Nsekwe finds touch beautifully. It's a penalty. You cannot slap that ball back in play, can you?
Definitely you can't. Penalty, once it finds touch, it's in touch. And yeah, very good kick there. But Amos Asimire with yet another turnover. But the man, he can play across the board from 1 to 8. That's how amazing he has been, and how his game has really transitioned and evolved all through the years playing for Impis, and also all the way back from high school. But very good territory here. A chance for Impis to now attack if they can perhaps keep their eyes on the ball this time round and get the opportunity to express themselves in offense.
Shafiq Wampande does not gather that ball. It's fumbled and lost. Thought it was lost forward by Echodo to Masendi's hands, but referee says play on. Echodo now, the former Sevens player, now a lock, breaking lines for fun. Oketayot, Aredo to the backs. Kimono finds Sempeke running from the deep end. Karima Rinaitwe can only be stopped just outside the 22. Collins Chimboa, or rather Blair Ayebazibwe. There's hands in that track, surely. And the player flying off his feet. Masendi says, let's play on. Joseph Aredo cutting past the big boys at the front row and then carrying it straight. But he has been turned over by Spencer Muhire, by Pius Mpoza rather, in that number 17 jersey. And it's a penalty for offside, says Omar Barikanda, and Impis are telling up way too many penalties as a decision for the scrum has been made by the Cobs.
Yeah, definitely. Discipline is one of the things they will need to work on, as Joseph Aredo and Captain Emmanuel Ochodu try to find drier surface that they can be able to use. The mindset for them might be with a scrum, having noticed that they are dominant in that particular area. So it's one thing that they're looking at, as Umar Barikanda at the far end trying to also explain to Impis how they are continuously being offside and how they should avoid the rack up of the penalties.
Yeah, Pius Mpoza there needing a blood replacement. He's got a couple of shots to his head. Should be concerning how he's able to stay in the field of play, or how the offending players are able to get away with those, I should say mostly late shots at him. But he's able to play on, nothing to worry about for now, as Cobs look for some clean surface to take this scrum. That miss by Henry Sequoia, I felt he should have done the same, made the same decision. But we will resume play about halfway into the first half of this game. It's going to be the same process for Cobs. Try and drive Impis as much as you can. Wavwire has already broken away. It's advantage for the Cobs. Pass again has the try line begging for him to ground the ball over, and he does just that. We have a new record try scorer in the Uganda Premier League, and his name is Pius Ogena with 21 tries to his name. He's gone past the 100 points mark. He's now 105 points and counting this season.
Yeah, the man dependably called the German machine, Chumacho Mudachi, by his teammates. Very, very dependable, very, very reliable. Pius Ogena showing that he's head above the rest in the league, in the Rugby Premiership. Yet again, a try for the Cobs. A try that actually gives them the bonus point at this point in this game. So they will particularly be happy as Joseph Aredo lines up the extras, if he can perhaps make it a perfect 21 points, 3 tries that are and 3 conversions made. We hope that the commentator's cast does not come into play. But Cobs really in control in this one. Impis just trying to be a bit stubborn here and there with a bit of pressure, but the Jonathan Magezi getting off really was an undoing for them. Can they be able to pick themselves up as Joseph Aredo makes it 21 for the Cobs? Impis remain with 3 points so far. Spencer Mohire, as you can see there, Pius Ogena just taking a breather. The man that's always industrious, looking for the work, looking to be in a position to put his team on the front foot. 21 tries, a league record.
League records being broken, title ambitions being set and made clear as Pius Ogena, the man now offloading to his captain Emmanuel Echodo. Emmanuel Echodo offloads to Ogena, and for the first time Ogena looks like he's human after throwing that loose ball to Alan Chagulanyi, who has been caught high yet again. We've mentioned this a couple of times in this game. Cobs making a few high shots. Doesn't look intentional, but they are not making a lot of effort. They're not making enough effort to go as low as they can to make legal tackles in contact against the Impis today.
Yeah, definitely. Umar Barikanda will at some point in this game be thinking about the yellow card, perhaps to show his authority and to make sure that the players are paying attention to welfare. But good touch there by Henry Sequoia, bringing Impis back inside the Cobs half. The line-out success has really been poor for Impis so far. Finding good territory, finding good touch, but unable to gather back their own ball. They are really deficient when it comes to setting up attacking platforms for themselves. Can their fortunes be different with this one? Unfortunately not.
And Cobs can now attack on this turnover play. Chibono has lost that ball through his legs and it's been turned over by the Impis. Henry Nsekwe looking for that cross kick. Charged down by Joseph Areda. Now David Dichiri. Brought down by Josiah Sempeke. Bwire finds Wabwire. Wabwire finds Ariho Muhumuza, carrying it strong in the midfield. And we shall have a stoppage in play to attend to Paul Wabwire. Appears to have taken another shot to his head. This time, surely, Balikanda will be touching his pockets.
Yeah, a lot of high tackles in this particular phase play, and just generally for the game. The players really not making an effort to go low. And Jane Mugisha there, credit to her. She has, I think, on a day when Impis is playing, she also really gathers very many meters in the way she quickly runs onto the pitch and just makes sure that quick attention is given to players every time they go down, every time there's an issue. Credit to her. And you can see Omar Barikanda getting a few lobbies from Pius Mpoza and Captain Kennedy Muhumuza about the high tackle count, trying to milk it into their advantage and to see. But also on the other end, we're seeing Captain Emmanuel Echodu also receiving a bit of attention from Noah Kayongo. Yeah, a lot of high shots going on in this game and a lot of attention needed. Also an opportunity for both teams to perhaps have a breather, take some water, and also clean the mud off their faces, because it's really, really a muddy day. Yes, it is sunny, but due to the rains that have been going on, the surface is not at its best. Not ideal for players to want to express themselves, but the forwards in particular will maybe be enjoying this a little more than the backs.
Decisions to be made by the Impis. Henry Nsekwe there with Kennedy Muhumuza. Paul Wabwire, the latest victim of a high shot. Can see how frustrated he is. Decisions to be made by the referees. Omar Barikanda consulting Bashir Bakel. Across the playing field, who hasn't had much action is Uganda Lady Rugby Cranes halfback Nora Nabasirie. And there's some communication to be made to Emmanuel Echodu. Balikanda flanked by Amos Asimire and Paul Wabwire. It appears Balikanda has reached a decision. We are waiting to see which one it is, as Wabwire gets some attention. Noah Kayongo squinting, looking like he will need some microscopes, I should say, to see deep inside Wabwire's mouth. Ruben, Rams today needed all the mathematics to be in their favor against the Buffaloes. It wasn't. They lost by 16 points to 8, condemning them to the first relegation ever since they came to the Premiership in 2015. That's when the league was shifted from 8 teams to 10 teams. They came up in that change. if the league this time does not change from 10 points to 12 teams, they will be playing in the Central Region Championship alongside the likes of Chambogo, Eagles, Jaguars, Warriors, who were relegated last season. Pending confirmation of who comes up, it is going to be tough to see Rams down there for the first time, but lots of stories, lots of memories, lots of culture and tradition brought up by the Rams. We'll have that conversation later on in the season as Impis are forced into making another injury change. First was Jonathan Magezi, now it is Paul Wabwire. Very unfortunate today that Impis, 25 minutes in, have had to make 2 changes due to injury, as Emmanuel Sediabane comes on to the second row, to the back row rather, for the Impis. And it's a penalty for the Impis. Cobs, very fortunate I should say, to still be 15 men on the playing field right now.
Yeah, Impis being hard done by these forced changes, you should say. Not what Coach Cyrus Seboliba would really want. Early in the game, having to use his chips in a way that he is not tactical, but more forced due to medical issues. But good touch yet again, phoned by Henry Sekuye. Another line out. The set pieces have not really been at their best for Impis, both scrum and line out. And it's something that needs to change if they are to exert any pressure. They are getting good real estate inside the Cobs half, but are unable to really make the most of it as they try to dig in another set piece there. And you can, yet again, a bit of confusion there, and free kick to the Cobs.
Joshua Nkrumah is having a hard day in his role as hooker. Sort of feigns, and the Cobs went up. Derek Kwasibo went up, forcing Nkrumah to change his mind, and that gave away a free kick to the Cobs. They can now attack from their 22 line to halfway. It's in the hands of Justin Kimono. 2 men hitting that rack, but not a centimeter moved, as it was secured by Jude Juko. Emmanuel Ochodo has been held up. Impis are looking for that second turnover. The maul has been called. There's only going to be one ending to this situation, and that's a scrum feed for the Impis.
Yeah, Impis learned well from their neighbors, Rams, who are very popular for this particular tactic of holding the player up and making sure ball is unplayable, but very, very good. But yet again, the set piece has really failed Impis. They have not gotten any go-forward ball, really, and it's really the story for them, on top of also having a couple of forced changes, being unable to have things go their way and maybe make changes that are unnecessary. The Cobs look a bit comfortable now, 21-3 with a bonus point. I'm sure at halftime they'll also be finding out what's happening at Kings Park as we drive into the final weekend, the final blockbuster weekend, I should say.
Speaking of learning lessons from the Rams, Emmanuel Ochodo came out of that mall claiming that he had been touched in the wrong places. The Impis trying to play some smart games there, some legally, some illegally, and there legally was Pius Mpoza, but holding on to that ball for too long, he gives a penalty to the Cobs. Both of these teams have not been able to play, despite the 21-3 score. None of these teams has been able to put up consistent play in this game. Clock has ticked past the 30-minute mark, but I could struggle to remember when Cobs strung together more than 4 phases of play. Impis have barely played the ball beyond more than a phase. They are yet to visit the Cobs 22, and as it stands, they're being pumped to the core. It will take a lot of mental strength, a lot of strategic thinking by the coach to get Impis, who have come from 7 points to 3 at around 10 minutes. It's coming to 30, and they have swallowed an extra 10 points. There will be lots of effort that's needed from them to get back in this one, but by and large, Impis have superseded their objectives for this season, and their past performance over the past 5 Also, he has possibly close to a decade. 7 games won this season is not something that the current fans or maybe those that are still at the university have seen before from the Impis. Player Ayebazibwe carrying it straight and hard into Arihom Holmes. The two started their rugby careers in Barara at Mbara High School and Intari School. Joseph Aredo carrying it into contact. Now Sempeke to the boot, a good chip and chest kick, and Henry Sekuye carries into to touch. It's going to be a line out for the Cobs inside the Impis 22.
Yeah, there Josiah Sempeke kicking with dexterity, just finding that space in between, forcing Henry and Sekuye to really gather the ball and get bundled into touch, but very, very good territory there. That is what they call an attacking kick, when they say that sometimes you can attack with a kick, and that was very, very good. Now an attacking platform for the Cobs.
Yeah, that's what Squidge Rugby calls kicking on the front foot. He published a 30-minute video explaining why kicking is good in rugby, and you can see why it is, because now Cobs have the line out and rolling maul deep inside the Impis 22. Jude Juko breaking away to David Ichiri. He's not able to beat, force him out, and Juko has got a powerful try in the corner for the Cobs.
Yeah, the amount of power that was in that particular one, as you can see from the line out, gathered very well by Derek Tukwasiwe, and the maul being affected from technique to sheer power to size. Cobs really had the advantage, and then Juko there making sure there's no mistake, slamming the ball and taking 3 Impis players with him. Very, very powerful from the flanker turned hooker, scoring Cobs' 4th try for this particular game, although he has put the kicker Joseph Aredo in a very tight kicking situation. Let us see if he can keep his 100% record so far in this game.
I was about to say that the 3 tries that Joseph Aredo has had before were easy stuff for him. Now he has to earn his money kicking from the touchline just outside the 22. Jude Juko, when he was still in school, actually played in the midfield as well, so he's been a journeyman on the rugby pitch. But now Joseph Aredo, the man who many years ahead of him was a superstar for Namilyango College, is not able to earn the full stars on that attempt, and it's going to be the last piece of action in this first half. Cobs have taken Impis to school. They lead by 26 points to 3 at the break.
You charge from here. I don't want to plug anything in. Down there. Njagala player enoka framing our player bali behind from behind enoka framing our player Cobs token I headroom nene nyo tilting and once aw mother sack so great man another player
Josiah Sempeke gets us back underway, and Daudi Semwami's first involvement in this game is a good chase where he was second best. And Impis attacking strong from there, from that good kick receipt. Have committed their first mistake of the second half. Henry Sekuye looking for some territory, hoofs the ball straight into touch. And it's a line out for the Cobs inside their territory. 26 points to 3, halftime score. Cobs have the bonus point, but they need that huge points difference going into the last game. Should they be level and square with the Pirates, they can ensure that they walk away with their next championship. Juko over and above Derek Tukwasibwe. Pius Mpoza arm wrestles Michael Todd to the ball. And now Ariho Muhumuza caught behind the gain line by his opposite number. Quick ball recycled to Spencer Muhire. Opts to kick, decides to carry himself. Kennedy Muhumuza found David Dichiri, who lost that, Alan Karuhanga rather, who lost that ball in contact. That's, apologies, that's Alan Chagulanyi, the outside winger for the Impis. Cobs caught offside in that sequence of play, and Henry Sekuye should be able to find touch with this one as he had attempted in the first kick. No, he doesn't. He keeps it in play contrary to all expectations. Karim Arinaitwe on the counter-attack. Back to the blind side. Masendi goes, finds Justin Kimono. Now Emmanuel Ochodo, high knees and running strong like a giraffe, but he has been robbed in broad daylight by Spencer Muhire. To Emmanuel Sediabane. Back to the blind side. Impose a long ball out wide. To Shafiq Wampande. Shafiq Wampande finds Chagulanyi. That's a beautiful offload from the Impis loose forward. Quick ball. Ariho Muhumuza. Chop tackle by Blair Yebazibwe. Spencer Muhire sends it up in the air. It's a good decision. Sediabane is not able to judge that leap very well. David Dichiri has the try line waiting, dive over the ball and score the try. No, he doesn't. He loses that ball forward in contact. Sediabane thinks he has scored the try, but Nora Veronica Nabasire indicates a knock-on in the try area, and a try scoring opportunity for the Impis goes begging. It's going to be a goal line dropout.
Talk about shattered dreams there. Wow, wow. Just look at that. But Spencer Muhire, very, very good kick. High, putting Cobs under pressure. They did know where that ball was. Pius Ogena scrambling to get back. And just when it mattered the most, the calculation to dive and ground the ball went wrong. Impis really should have made that count.
They should have. And David Dichiri takes some counseling from Henry Sekuye. Opportunities like that will keep coming to the youngster playing his first top flight season. He has been a mainstay in that Impis squad. Cobs are able to exit their territory with that goal line dropout bouncing into touch of Joseph Aredo's boot. The line-out hasn't been Impis' strong forward this season, and it continues to be as Emmanuel Ochodo is carrying it strong. Is brought down on that line break by Dichiri. Collins Chimbowa selling a dummy like a fly-half. Collins Chimbowa.
Wow.
Same way playing half-back duties. There's men playing in positions they're not accustomed to. Frank Kakula. That's player Ibazibwe. Losing that ball in contact, but Cobs had the advantage. Robert Chihumo. We have seen Faraji Odugo at the wing. Now we have seen Collins Chimbowa in the number 10 position.
Probably taking some time off the ball carrying to audition to the coaches that in case you guys need another 10, I am available with the show and go. Brilliant, brilliant stuff there by Collins Chimbowa. And for all his efforts, they get a penalty and they are able to get some more real estate from the kick to touch line out Cobs.
Cobs are preparing some changes at the front row. Saul Chivumbi and Trevor Minor getting ready as Juko finds Tukwasiwe at the top of that line out. Collins Chimbowa again, this time doing the basic duty of a front row prop, carrying it hard and strong. Michael Otto, the scorer of the first try in this game. Masendi says recycle to the right side. The ball has been fumbled at the back by Derek Tukwasiwe and Masendi. Miscommunication between the two grants some high fives from the team in pink.
Yeah, for the second time in this game, Derek Tukwasiwe is caught guilty by being overly eager with the try line just in front of him. That was the case of just having to be patient as the changes come in, but patience was all that sequence of play needed, and unfortunately their impatience makes them pay.
Collins Chimbowa and Jude Juko can get a well-deserved break. Plus the captain Emmanuel Ochodo. It brings the most versatile man in Ugandan rugby at the moment, Alhaji Manano, listed as the 23rd man on the team, but he has come on as a replacement in the forwards. Manano alongside Trevor Minor and Saul Chivumbi at the front row to give Impis some hard time at that scrummage, and indeed the penalty has been awarded. Joseph Aredo will be looking for that quick restart. Karima Naito came running across calling his name. There's going to be a scrum feed for the Cobs. Decision making.
Yeah, definitely. No prizes for that. It was obvious, I think, that they were really going to go for the scrum again. They really are, perhaps at this point, milking the penalty try. The forwards have been at work all games, and they want to make this one count. So many of the other players in the Cobs were screaming for the ball, but Joseph Aredo was calm and decided to use the advantage they have. Let's see if this decision can pay off.
It certainly will. They have had the better scrummage all season in all the games they have played, in most games they have played. And there's no doubt about the advantage they have today against the Impis. It quickly shuffles the way to Pius Ogena, and there's a double blow of the whistle. That front row crumbling in front of Amos Asimire, Newton Mwebaze, and Joshua Nkuruma. Referee blowing with haste over those safety concerns at the front row of that scrummage. There's going to be a reset. Cobs are about 7 meters, 8 meters from the Impis try area, directly in front of the uprights. Balikanda making sure all is good to go. And the advantage almost immediately. Masendi says play on. Daudi Semwami over. It's a beautiful try from the Cobs. And Semwami has found the whitewash in the corner.
There, Daudi Semwami, and getting congratulations from Byron Okatayot. But you can see just off the dominant scrum and the advantage, Robert Masendi picking the ball with a quick tap, the long pass. Joseph Aredo exploiting the space and the pass. And Daudi Semwami had one job, get the ball and ground it, and that's what he did. As you can see, the Cobs fans there, not really very excited. Perhaps a normal day at work for them. Something they should expect. As we also see David Dichiri in his attempt to try and tackle Daudi Semwami, hurt himself. We hope it's not very serious, and credit to Jane Mugisha yet again for her efforts in always being around the field. I'm sure if she was a rugby player, she'd be a flanker because she's always at the right place at the right time.
Joseph Aredo to make it a full complement of points from the touchline. He gives it a good hit, but not good enough to split the upright. Score will stay at 31-3 in favor of the Cobs. Not much of a cheer from their fans. They're saving their energy for the season finale against the Pirates. The job is perhaps already done at this point. 31 points, 5 tries scored. And Impis on the restart right now are having a tough outing here at Legends Rugby Club. It's a good kick from Spencer Muhire, slapped back by Sedi Abani and gathered by Ariho Muhomuza. Omar Barikanda says that ball did not go the regulation 10 meters. Looked like it did, but not enough for the man in the middle to grant continuity and possession to the Impis. The Nile Special Rugby Premier League is Uganda's top-tier men's national 15s rugby championship. 10 teams in a round-robin home and away championship where the leader, the highest-ranked team, will be champion and the lowest-ranked team will be relegated. As it stands right now, we've already confirmed the team that will tally the lowest number of points, that is Rams. And if the championship next year stays as is right now, Rams will be playing in the second tier. We have 2 teams still fighting strong, perhaps a third, for the 34th championship since inception in 1990. You can watch this match, you can catch all the games live on YouTube via the Kaoho Sports channel, and for any live score updates and highlights on Kaoho Sports YouTube. Back underway with another scrum feed for the Cobs. The ball is at the feet of Pius Ogena, and like clockwork, they should be having the advantage. Referee says use it with no advantage. Aredo to the blind side, sells an open dummy, and he has a straight line to the try line, bumps off Henry Sekuye. This is what I came for today, seeing 2 of my best friends applying violence to each other. Joseph Aredo has been held up. Impis have earned the turnover and the penalty for collapsing. Pius Ogena guilty there.
Yeah, interesting run there by Joseph Aredo. Very good friends, Joseph Aredo and Henry Sekuye, meeting each other and having a unique embrace there between themselves. But you can't say that Henry Sekuye wins this one since they were able to get possession back, and now his responsibility will be to find touch. Not the best bearing, but at least he has found touch regardless. Still inside the Impis half. As you can see there, Joseph Aredo and meeting Henry Sekuye. And if you know a little bit of physics, when 2 body masses are able to collide, usually the force takes them in the opposite direction. I don't know if I did pass my physics, but at least that's a little bit that I remember.
I have a few doubts about your principles of momentum. But that's not the gist of the matter here. The gist of the matter is rugby. Godfrey Ayebare coming off the bench and throwing Impis's first clean line out. Then Pius Mpoza loses the ball with no man in front of him.
At this point, I think Impis is just defending against themselves. They're making it really easy for Cobs to exploit anything that comes with them. And as you can see, the scrum yet again is going to be another set piece that will be affected. No prizes for guessing who will be the dominant side in this particular scrum. But Impis really, the set piece has not been at its best. And then when they get a clean line out, the pass was, I should say, not sympathetic to say the least. And now Cobs have an opportunity to make them pay.
Another strong scrum feed. This time a good response from the Impis, and they have earned the penalty. Cobs guilty of driving at an angle. Pius Mpoza looking for that quick restart, but Spencer Muhire will be finding touch. Henry Sekuye did not do well on that kick. He asks for a second chance. He does better this time. Not too much of territory to gain, but it's well outside their red zone in a place where they can execute one of their set plays from this line out.
I've noticed something about how Henry Sekuye is kicking both for touch and finding territory. He seems to be slicing the ball. Could be a case of perhaps the ball being a bit slippery in his grip.
Cobs give away another penalty to the Impis. Amos Asimire quick taps it, but it's off the mark. The 150 man too eager to get the game underway. That's the energy. It's like he's playing his first game. There's been very many wishes to him. Isaac Massa said he looks forward to seeing him get 200 more, and that is the energy of a man who looks like he will be going 200 more. Let's take a look at that kick again from Henry Sekuye. You mentioned how he's kicking with a certain slice. This time he goes with the inside of his boot and finds good touch just outside the 22. Henry Sekuye is a very good footballer as well. The last time his secondary school went for the national championship, he was in that team. That's 2014. And you can see the reason why, because of such beautiful kicking. Godfrey Ayebare this time should do better at the line out. Good movement from Clive Lomo, but he loses that ball forward. Referee says, let's play on. Mpoza, long ball out wide into space for his captain Kennedy Muhumuza, tips it on for Henry Sekuye. Sekuye selling a dummy, and then a beautiful offload is brought down by Joseph Aredo. And then a rather necessary cross kick, not able to be gathered by Odugo. Kennedy Muhumuza puts it to the boot. Must send it to the rescue. He's playing that ball on the floor. And Impis have the advantage and the full penalty.
Yeah, very, very good pressure there by Kennedy Muhumuza. Just really trying to put a lot of pressure on Robert Masendi, and they get a penalty for that. Can they at least put some more points on board? They have not had anything to show past the 3 points they put early on in the game.
And now Ariho Muhumuza will be looking to get some more on the board. He breaks the first line of defense. Godfrey Ayebare, they are just a few meters short of the try line. Amos Asimire is looking on and waiting for that next carry, but it won't be coming as the ball has been turned over by the Cobs. Referee says tackler not releasing, and now Asimire can get into the engine room to put some work in. Quick restart by Pius Mpoza. Ariho Muhumuza does not gain a single meter in territory, but the Impis maintain possession. The forwards are putting in the work. They've been joined by some of the backs. Amos Asimire now. Pius Mpoza, Impis is leading try scorer. The ball can only be sent out to the backs. Chagulanyi, brought down by Alhaji Manano, and now Kennedy Muhumuza to the blind side. Offloads. Spencer Muhire to Shafiq Wampande. And pass Mpoza has been caught just outside the 22 by Blair Ewazibwe. Impis string more possession now and more phases than they did the entire length of the match. Has Spencer Muhire lost that ball in contact? Yes, but not forward, and Impis maintained possession. Pass Mpoza, tipping it on to Amos Asimire, brought down with interest by Masendi. Another offload, Sediabane this time. Asimire again, this is like his fourth carry, chooses to pass it on. Henry Sekuye directing his players, finds Captain Muhomuza, Godfrey Ayebare. On the outside, Impis are into the double figures with the phases of play. They've come from the 5-meter line, probably the try line. They are now inside the 22, and Henry Sekuye is selling dummies for fun, cutting through, but brought down by Sempeke. Godfrey Ayebare down and then offloading. Impis have the advantage. Omar Barikanda saying tackler should release. Impis are knocking on Cobs' door. Surely the try line is beckoning for them. Still advantage for the Impis. Now Newton Mwebas has the ball at his feet, carries it to the blind side, and the advantage is not gained. Pass Mpoza, quick restart again. To the open side, tipping it on to Amos Asimire, and if there's any man who deserves to score today, it is that man in the number 1 jersey. Impis have scored a beautiful try, and there's going to be a standing ovation for Amos Asimire, for his fans. There goes the man, Amos Asimire, 150 games for the Impis. And what a career he has had. And what a career under the uprights for the Impis.
Yeah, definitely 150 appearances, and rightfully so. He is the man that scores today. And you can see what it means to the fans. Impis might not be in the right direction when it comes to the scoreboard, but they have had the loudest cheer here, and because of that try from Amos Asimire, and then Henry Sekuye as well adds the extras to make it a complement of 10 for the Impis. That has been their best phase of this game, carrying about, I don't know, the 15 phases, yes, but that was really, really brilliant that they were able to keep the ball that long, and capped off by the 150-man Amos Asimire.
It's very beautiful to see Amos Asimire getting his flowers in this game, and he will be smiling home with the try that will forever be memorable. Now Chagulanyi, brought down by the youngster Humphrey Olaona, who celebrated his birthday last year, playing his 3rd season for Cobs, and Henry Sekuye is doing what he just did again. He's been tackled late by Sol Chivumbi, by Daudi Semwami rather. And what looked like it was a walk in the park for the Cobs has become a tough job, especially with Henry Sekuye selling dummies for fun here.
Yeah, definitely. As you can see there, Kennedy Muhomuza are trying to argue the case. And the dummy there, bought by Byron Oketayot, and the late hit there by Daudi Semwami. He's lucky to have just gotten off with the penalty there. Cynical play, but at least there is now good territory gotten yet again for the Impis, who are playing a lot better this time round. They have the territory. If they can secure this set piece, we could be in for yet another case of a host of very, very good rugby.
Ever since the second half, when they scored that try through Semwami, Impis have taken the wheel of this game. They are in full control as it stands. But the line out after that is not successful under Riho. Muhomuza puts in a good tackle against Michael Oto. Karim Arinaito recognizing the space at the back there. Finds touch behind Chagulanyi, and it's going to be a line out for the Impis. A few more meters and that would have been an interesting 50-22 kick. Godfrey Ebery to make amends this time. Goes to the front, stolen by Alhaji Manano. Masendi finds Masendi. He's Otto, but the nickname is Masendi. And now Sol Chivumbi. Pius Ogena, the 21 try man. Slow ball. That's good contest by Impis at that breakdown. Joseph Aredo. Josiah Sempeke, and he loses that ball forward. Faraji Odugo running through and scoring in the corner is not going to count, as Sempeke has lost that ball forward, and Cobs have squandered another try scoring opportunity.
Yeah, the Cobs seem to have also put the foot off the gas a little bit, and they have a free kick. It's actually a full penalty for a high tackle, and a chance for them to see what they're going to do. They have been going to the scrum, but seems like Impis had found a remedy for the scrum issue, but yet again they choose to test the forwards. Today, the forwards are really earning their money, you should say, in such conditions where the backs won't really get comfortable, clean ball. This is where the forwards really stand up to be counted.
Yeah, and they actually have. All the first half tries were scored by the forwards. And same as on the other side, Imp's only try was scored by a man at the front row. The forwards are putting in the work. And it is counting as the scoreboard stands at 31 points to 10 rather. Cobs only try scored by the backline was Daudi Semwami. And now Pius Ogena has the ball at his feet again. Cobs looking for that advantage, and they earn it. It's a free play. Ogena says, let's go. Carries it to the open side. Brought down by the defense, and now Faraji Odugo at the wing. He's in touch.
Yes, still advantage being played there by Faraji Odugo. Such power, but the defense from Impis is resolute as well.
Joseph Aredo on the quick restart like they did in the second half for that quick try. Trevor Minor had 2 men on his outside, decided to carry himself. Chimono finds Tukwasibwe. Semwami running that short line, but the ball goes past him to Alhaji Manano. Alhaji Manano is just a hair's width short. Cobs have the advantage. Bit of some acrobatics at the Impis try line there. Slow ball, the forwards putting in the work. The ball has been called by the backs. It goes to Karim Arinaitwe. Try in front of him, and he never misses such opportunities. Karim Arinaitwe.
For a moment there, I thought he would perhaps pass the ball out wide, but knowing the kind of finisher he is, he was not going to pass that ball anytime. Karim Arinaitwe, the Sevens international, scoring yet again. And you can see the Cobs fans with Zeno Ora Othieno as well. They are clad in his Impis jersey, just showing a little bit of frustration. Perhaps he thinks his team could have done better. And I'm sure he's talking about one of his stories where in his days he was a very good defender. We are yet to deliberate on that. But as you can see, Karim Arinaitwe, very, very dependable man, and one of the more consistent players today, and he gets a try for all his efforts. Great awareness, but great attack there by the Cobs, who are able to suck in the Impis and then get the try. And the extras by Joseph Aredo. He has been, in the season, I think, the most consistent kicker, and his points have a lot to show as well. But if the national team coaches for the 15s are watching, they will be very, very encouraged with the way Joseph Aredo has been kicking this season.
The kickers have done their part today, this season especially. Ivan Magomo in the 100s with his points on the board. Joseph Aredo today should be joining him up there. Henry Nsekwe has so far kicked 6 points. Not bad as well. And the host of others from the other teams, Aaron Ofoirot, before he left for the National Sevens, was 85 points head and shoulders above the rest of the group. The kickers have been doing their part this season, and Uganda never going short of very good boots. Aredo again going straight into touch. And that there are calls that the ball was charged by the Impis players, but the possession will stay in the hands of the Impis. Aredo still making the claim that the ball was touched by a player in pink. The referee says, let's have a line out for the Impis. Godfrey Ayebare to throw. He has played most of this season at number 2 today, got a well-deserved rest and coming off the bench to replace Joshua Nkuruma. Shafiq gathering in the air, but that ball was not straight. Another change for the Cobs. It's Brian Ochan replacing Robert Masendi as Gabriel Mugabe of the Impis prepares to come on at the front row. Pius Ogena uses it from the back, finds Justin Kimono carrying it hard with interest, but he's been held up. Ball is offloaded to the back. Frank Kakula. And now Faraji Odugo in the corner. It is strike time for the Cobs. He might be a hooker, but Faraji Odugo is a quick man and well known for contact. Give him a few inches of space and he will be slicing through the defense. You can see there the calm and composed technical bench of the Cobs. Under that umbrella is Brian Makalama and Wabwire Emmanuel. Warakila rather. There's that pass. Route Moja for Faraji Odugo. And over the whitewash he went.
Yeah, Faraji Odugo there used to play for the Buffaloes and was a backliner before he turned into a hooker, but just rolling back the days and showing that he still has what it takes to be a back as Joseph Aredo lines up the extras. Coming in from Kings Park at halftime, the score was 22 to the Pirates and Walukwa with nil. Joseph Aredo unable to get the extras, so the score is at 43 for the Cobs, and Impis yet to add an extra to the 10 points they had.
Cobs comfortably in the 40s, leading at 43 points to 10. It's the evenings of this match. They have done enough to guarantee maximum points and have the front foot going into the final match of the season. Beijuka comes on for the Impis in place of Clive Lumu, another veteran for the Makere best team. Daudi Semwami finds good touch. There was an option for the quick line out, but Chagulanyi did not take it. You can see all those appeals from his teammates. the backfield, asking him to play that quick line out to Henry Nsekwe, and then across the wing with Keith Weraga and Pius Mpoza. This line out keeps Impis in very tricky territory, especially with the jumping options at the line out that Cobs have. Humphrey Olaona and Pius Ogena. It goes to the back, and Kakula, who I think has been the best prop this season at number 1, gets Cobs back in possession. Ogena fending off men for fun, but is brought down by Sediabane. To the open side, Aredo, Chimono now. Brian Ochan has lost that ball on the floor.
Yeah, very, very good defense there by the Impis to quell the Cobs attack. Cobs now look hungrier. They look hungrier than they and they want to really add as many points as possible and make it a case of, in case it ever goes to points difference, there is no doubt who the better team will be. So in the game, in the contest for points difference, Cobs is really, really manning this one. Coming in from Ginger, the Hippos have 36 and Rhinos 16. Yet to bring you some other scores as we are also here in this particular one. Another scrum, this time yet again Impis have an opportunity to clear their lines.
There's never any doubt on Cobs having the advantage in points difference. They are probably close to twice as much as Pirates have, 476 going into this game, as opposed to Pirates in the 200s. It's a no contest, I should say, but they are adding as many points as they can on the board just for some fashion, some flair. Pius Mpoza, and that quick restart, the ball has been slapped down in the tackle by Humphrey Olaona. It's not going to be a knock-on, it's going to be a full penalty for the Impis. Henry Nsekwe looking for touch, is not able to find it, finds Karim Arinaitwe, and now the Cobs counter-attack. Faraji Odugo, the latest try scorer, throws a long and interesting pass to Daudi Semwami, his partner at the wing. Semwami back inside the 22. Arinaitwe for Ogena. It's going to be try number 22 of the season for Pius Ogena. Knight this man, Pius Ogena. Put a sign in front of his name, for he has superseded the highest peaks that have ever been in Ugandan rugby.
For once, the fans are off their feet and they have given something. They've been given something that is worth the celebration. They did expect a big victory here, but seeing such a blockbuster try by fan favorite Pius Ogena, you can see that they're happy. But the man there, as we earlier had said, Chuma Chamudachi, 22 tries, standing alone now. When it comes to records, try scorers in a season, 2 better than the great Alan Musoke, who also played for the Betway Cobs. Actually, it was the UTL Cobs at the time, but Joseph Aredo adding the extras there. And the Cobs really, really dominant in this one.
A handshake for Pius Ogena as Cobs go into the 50s. They have put 50 points on the board today, and that man Pius Ogena with a hat-trick of tries. There's not been a better finisher than him this season, and the history books will show that there's not been a better finisher than him ever since the start of the Ghana Rugby Premier League. Amos Asimire with a good kick, with a good chase off that restart, but it bounces back into the hands of the Cobs. With Lobo Mukiri caught by Spencer Muhire. Now Joseph Aredo in open space finds Justin Kimono. Ball in two hands, has Faraji Odugo on his outside, finds him. Odugo outpacing Kennedy Muhomuza. Has he been brought down by a high tackle? Yes, he has. It's advantage for the Cobs. Joseph Aredo offloading to Mukiri with interest inside the 22. Quickly recycled by Brian Ochan. Held up, and Impis are forcing the turnover. And they have won a very good turnover just in front of their own try line. The box kick from Keith Weraga finds Yusuf Sali Kasenene from international duty with the under-20s at the Bates Trophy. Ogena with a touch of class, offloading to Olauna. Yusuf Sali tackled high. Cobs have the advantage. To the backs now, Aredo running blind is Alhaji Manano. Justin Kimono with interest. Tackled without hands by Pius Mpoza. Recycled again, Aredo finding Sol Chivumbi. And it's another try for the Cobs.
Tri-fest here at Legends Rugby Grounds, and the floodgates. I was going to say they have opened, but they opened quite a while ago. But the Cobs really finally breaking the Impis resolve, and now it's just try after try. It's a party situation, and the fans clearly happy. This is ideally the curtain raiser they would need for the blockbuster that's coming next week. And the Cobs really look like they're in song, and there's Sol Chivumbi, the Pope, bustling his way through and really just shoving. But you can see they're taking some time to really have a breather and enjoy the moment. And as we wait for the conversion to be taken as well by Joseph Aredo. Extras good, and they're full time.
That will be the last piece of action in this game today. Cobs have done all it takes, have checked all the boxes to set up an exciting season finale here at Legends. They have washed Impis by 57 points to 10. And they stay top of the table going into the season finale against the Pirates. Pirates still in action against Walukuba. They led by 22 points at the break. Full-time score yet to come in. But what we know for sure is that when rugby comes back here next weekend, the trophy will be up for grabs for either of them. It is that team in blue. It is that man with the number 8 jersey, Pius Ogena, who has inspired this club to an epic finale. Cobs win this one by 57 points against Impis' 10.
And I consider that.
And well in.
110 actually. Don't get about 63. No, we round off to the nearest.
Combination of both box and coach. Winning coach! Winning coach! Wow!
Next time we just put down a
I want to say hi to my family, my friends.
63 plus 57.
Cricket score is just 123. Bayo.